House on the Edge of a Dream. Prologue: The Whispering Streets. Oakwood wasn't the kind of place you'd write home about, not unless home was a postcard from the American dream circa 1955. Maples lined the streets, their leaves turning a bruised red come fall, and kids pedaled bikes with that reckless joy only summer can give. Porches sagged under the weight of old rocking chairs, and folks waved like they meant it. It was a town built on promises. Work hard, save up, buy a house, raise a family. Simple, solid. But lately something shifted. The for sale signs don't come down like they used to. They linger, sun-faded and peeling, like gravestones marking something. When they do vanish, it's not because the Johnsons or the Millers moved in with a U-Haul and a dream. No, it's some outfit from New York or California, a name you can't pronounce with letters like LLC tacked on the end. Houses sit empty, or they fill up with renters paying more than they can afford, their eyes hollowed out by the math of it all. At the diner on Main Street, the coffee's still bitter, but the talk's turned sour. Families doubling up in basements, kids moving back home, whole streets going quiet. Oakwood's changing, and it ain't for the better. You can feel it in the air, a chill that's got nothing to do with the weather. This isn't just one town story. It's ours, all of ours, and it's been creeping up on us for years, slow and steady, like footsteps in the dark. Chapter 1. The Shadow Over the Deed. Let's talk numbers, because numbers don't lie. They just sit there, cold and mean, waiting for you to notice. November 2024 rolls around, and the median price for a house, some 3-bedroom rancher with a patchy lawn and a roof that's seen better days, hits $406,100. That's up 4.7% from last year, the 17th month straight of prices climbing, like they're trying to escape something. Meanwhile, the stuff you need to live, bread, gas, a pair of jeans, creeps up 3%. Houses are outpacing life itself, and for the folks scraping by, it's like watching the finish line sprint away while you're stuck in mud. Rewind to 1984, when a family brought home $22,420 a year, and a house cost $78,200. You do the math well. I'll do it for you. That's 3.49 times their income. A stretch, sure, but doable. Today, family income's at $74,580, and that same house, maybe with a fresh coat of paint and a leaky faucet, is over $400,000. Ratio's 5.6 now. 5.6. That's not a number. That's a wall, brick by brick, locking out anyone who isn't already on the other side. In Oakwood, the Murphys down the street have been saving for 6 years. Tom works construction, Sarah's a nurse. They've got 2 kids and a jar on the counter labeled house fund. Used to be half full with crumpled 20s and loose change. Now it's gathering dust, because every time they get close, the price jumps again. They don't talk about it much anymore, but you can see it in Sarah's eyes when she stares out the kitchen window, like she's watching something slip away, something she can still feel in her bones. Chapter 2. The Ground That Bites Back. Land's the kicker. They're not making more of it, not unless God's got a side hustle we don't know about. In 2023, farmland prices shot up 7.4%, even after you account for inflation. Why? It's not just houses anymore. It's warehouses, strip malls, condos with glass walls and names like The Pinnacle. Land's not a place to live. It's a poker chip, flipped between hands you'll never shake. The economy's chugging along at 2 to 3% a year, population's barely ticking up at 0.5-1%, but houses, they're racing ahead like a car with no brakes. Something's fueling it, something under the surface. In Oakwood, the old Peterson farm got parceled out last year. Half's a subdivision now, cookie-cutter homes with postage stamp yards, the other half's sitting empty, owned by some investment firm waiting for the price to spike. Kids don't play there anymore. The fields are too quiet, like they're holding their breath. Chapter 3. The Rent Man Cometh. Can't buy? You rent. Simple, right? Except it's not. January 2025, and the median rent's $1,995 a month. $2,000, give or take, just to keep a roof over your head. For that family making $74,580, that's a third of their take-home gone before they buy milk or pay the electric bill. Saving for a house? That's a joke told in whispers because the rent's a trap. Keeps you from buying, and not buying keeps you paying. Down on Pine Street, the Garcias are feeling it. Maria works at the grocery store. Miguel's a mechanic. Their landlord, a real estate company owned by an investment firm called BlackRock, hiked the rent $200 last month, said it's market rates. They're cutting corners now. No more Friday pizza nights, no new shoes for the kids. Maria lies awake sometimes, listening to the house creak, wondering how long they've got before the next hike, or before they're out on the street. Another statistic in a town that used to feel like home. Chapter 4. The strings you don't see. So who's doing this? Start with the cheap money. Interest rates dropped low and folks borrowed like it was free. Houses flew off the market, except there weren't enough to go around. Zoning laws didn't help. In Oakwood, you can't build an apartment building without a fight. Preserve the character, the council says, while the town bleeds families. 1 million new folks moved to the U.S. in 2022, looking for a piece of the what's left of the American dream. But the pie's shrinking, or at least the part regular people can reach. Then there's the big dogs. Companies like BlackRock and Blackstone with their deep pockets and deeper greed, snapping up homes faster than you can say bid. 20-25% of single-family houses in some places go to investors now, not families. In Oakwood, the little blue house on Cedar Lane got bought last spring. Cash offer, sight unseen. Now it's a rental, $2,200 a month, and the paint is still fresh. The invisible hands are everywhere, pulling levers, stacking the deck. Chapter 5. The crack in the foundation. Bubble or not? That's the question buzzing around the diner over lukewarm coffee and stale pie. Some say the market's solid, jobs are steady, demand's high. Others smell 2008 all over again, when houses turned into tombs and dreams went bust. In our town, the old-timers remember empty streets, foreclosure signs like weeds. This feels different, but not by much. Supply's tight, demand's through the roof, and the big money's betting it'll hold. But it's a house of cards, trembling in the wind. One gust, rates spike, jobs dry up, and down it goes. The Murphys don't know what to believe. Tom saw a headline about a crash, shrugged it off. Sarah's not so sure. She keeps the house fund jar out, but it's more habit than hope now. Epilogue, the ghost in the walls. Drive through Oakwood today, and you'll see it. The for sale signs, stubborn as ghosts, dotting lawns. The diner's half empty, the chatter muted. The American dream's still here, but it's fading, a shadow moving through the rooms of houses no one can afford. This isn't about charts or stats, though they're real enough. $406,100 for a home, $1,995 for rent. A 5.6 income ratio that laughs in your face. It's about people. The Murphys, the Garcias, you, me, trapped in a machine that's supposed to lift us up but grinds us down instead. If we don't fix it, build more, rein in the suits, rewrite the rules, that dream's not just deferred, it's gone. And in the quiet of Oakwood streets you can almost hear it whispering goodbye.